through this book on prayer, personally, it stirred me up. There's three things I want to bring out in chapter 7, especially three things. There's others, but things that have touched me. And one is about our personal prayer life. We've probably seen the movie The War Room, where the woman goes in her closet and she has prayer requests all over, and she's a mighty woman of God and she's praying through. And that's great. And we should have our own personal time of prayer and our communion time with God, and a place where we battle through things in prayer. But there's a whole nother aspect that sometimes people forget about. And that's the corporate prayer. That's when the church comes together. That is so powerful. And looking through the book of Acts, as you will in chapter 7, you're going to see over 20 times that the writer is talking about the church gathering, people gathering. Simple things, wherever two or three are gathered together, and that's so important. And that's an important aspect of the church life. And then it goes into why it's an important aspect. We're community. We've studied books and scriptures on community, and church is community. It's family. And we need to be in a place where we can be vulnerable to one another and say, hey, I need God. I need prayer. I need my brothers and sisters praying with me, praying for me, and also hearing what your brothers and sisters need. It's always easy to ask someone what they need for prayer. What do you want me to pray about? But then there's the other side of it, when they ask you and you sort of freeze. We need to be vulnerable. And the other thing is the leaning into God. The author brings out in this book about leaning into God. What makes you lean into God, to cry out to God? Let's be honest. When things are going well, God is sometimes at a distance. And yeah, we remember him. And yes, we pray in the morning. We do our devotions. But that's not really leaning in, trusting God. How do we learn to do those things? Unfortunately, a lot of times it's tragedy. That's the first thing that hits us. The doctor says we have cancer. So a friend is dying. The mortgage is due and you don't have money, and we lean into God. But our life should reflect a leaning into God, a trusting God for all that we have and all that we do. Prayer, that's what prayer is about. Acknowledging, God, I need you. And this is where we really lean in. Corporate prayer means great. It's not exciting. It's not fun. It's not having a fiery evangelist in a white suit there touching the heads of people. It's not all the music and the singing and the worship. It's work. Prayer is work. And we come together to work toward the will of God, toward leaning on God. When we come to prayer, we come in with all these burdens, all these prayer requests, all these things that are in our heart. Now, if prayer really is done right, when we walk out, we should walk out without those things weighing us down and pushing us down and the weight on us. That should be taken off and left at the altar where we've prayed, where we said, okay, God, I give up. This is for you. I give up. You take these burdens. He says that his burden is light. Sometimes I feel like his burden is heavy, but that's because I haven't spent time in prayer. He'll take that heaviness, but we need to lean in. We need to trust. But most important, from chapter 7, we need to come together and support one another and be that real community that we talk about. I hope you're blessed by this chapter. God bless you.